Hello, I'm Gavin Hoey and this is the Technique of the Month from Digital Photo Magazine. This month we're looking at borders, and I'm going to show you how you can add a border around your still life image, or for that matter any photograph you've taken. Take this picture for example. This is a little still life setup I made down at the beach whilst the kids were playing in the sea, and I kind of like it, but I think it needs a border really to set it off. Now the sort of border I'm going to create is commonly called an inked border or a painted border or even a grunge border. Now you'll see it as we go along, but to start with I'm going to make a classic straightforward black and white border. Now to do that I need to make sure I've got black and white as my foreground colours, which I haven't, so either hit D on the keyboard or just hit the default colour button right there. Now I actually at this stage want black as my background colour because that's going to be the first colour of the first border. So I'm going to swap those two over by clicking the little arrow there or hitting X on the keyboard. So now I have black as my background colour. Okay, let's come up to Image, choose Resize and across to Canvas Size. So this will increase the area of our picture and allow us to put a border in. Now for me, I'm not a big fan of big numbers, so these numbers here are okay, but we've got to be working in pixels and we've got to add some pixels in here. So I'm going to click the word relative and make those big numbers go away to little zeros, and I'm going to type in 150 extra pixels on both the width and also 150 pixels on the height, and I'm going to click OK. So that'll add that black border around the edge of the picture. Now I want to add a much bigger white border, so let's swap our background color to white, and then we'll do the same thing again. Up to Image, Resize, Canvas Size. Now it'll still say relative there, but the units will change, and this one can really trip you up. So make sure you do work on the pixels as the units, and type in, well, let's put in 800 extra pixels in both the width and the height, so that should give us a much bigger border around the edge of the picture, like that. So you can see we've added in a nice classic black and white border. But it's not very exciting. It's kind of plain, it's okay, but I want to do something a little bit more exciting. Now, for exciting, I'm actually going to use a different picture altogether. So I've got another one loaded up here. Let's just bring this one onto the screen. So this is just a picture of an old window, and look, if you look very closely, you may even see a little self-portrait of myself as well, just a little added bonus for you. Anyway, what we're going to do here is to apply an effect to this image, because what we want to do is try and pull out some interesting edges. Now this picture is full of interesting edges all around this rotten old window frame, and well, let's have a bash. Let's go to Filter, let's go to Adjustments, and we're going to choose Threshold. Now what Threshold will do is it'll throw away all the colour and all the tones and leave you with just a black and white image like that. So it is a very, very harsh effect, and normally it's not one you would apply to your photographs, but we're going to use it in a rather creative way, because what I'm looking to do is to try and create a kind of inky edge, a straight edge. Now you can see one forming down here. Now if I move my little slider towards the left hand side, I'll get more white and less black, and that little inky edge will really start to appear. And I'm looking for that nice kind of straight edge there. That's pretty good actually. We'll stop right there. That's a threshold level of about 70, and we'll click OK. Now we've got to get that area and stick it on the other picture. So let's get the selection tool. We'll get the rectangular marquee, and we'll make a rectangular selection just over the area we want to keep, which is that bit right there. Then we'll go to Edit and copy that little area. Okay, let's jump back to our first picture. Here we go, and we'll go to Edit and choose Paste. So that's going to paste it into the picture like so, but it's not in the right place. So we'll get the Move tool and we'll just drag this down and we'll kind of line it up with the edge like that. But it's actually a little bit too long. If you can just see in there, it just kind of sticks on beyond the edge of the picture. Okay, so not to worry. What we're going to do there is to use a bit of Free Transform. So let's go to Image, Transform, and Free Transform, or hit Control T to bring that up. And we'll just pull a little edge in just like that. That's pretty good. Click the tick when you're done. Great. But it's not really working, is it? If you look in close, you can see that sort of white edge and the border we originally put in, they're not really blending together. Well, this is where little work in layers comes in very useful, because when we pasted that in, we made automatically a brand new layer. There it is. It's got a blend mode of normal, which means it's kind of opaque. We can't see anything through it. But if I click on the down list here, I can choose Multiply. Now Multiply has a little magic ability. It makes anything pure white become transparent, like that. So now our border blends in with that black edge we made earlier on. And now you can start to see how this is working. That's looking pretty good. Okay, we've got a couple more sides to do, so let's crack on. We'll jump back to this picture again. Remember this one? Now this time I could go for another edge, or what I could do is just go back to Edit, go to Revert to go back to where we started, and try and find another edge by reapplying the filter. Filter, Adjustments, Threshold. Now this time I'm looking down this side here, I think. So let's see what we can do there. Now as I push it along, you see that side gets a little bit too thin. So I'm probably thinking not far off where it originally came in, about 124, looks about right. So we'll click OK, and we'll get our selection tool, and we'll make a selection running up that edge like that. Okay, that's good. And then edit and copy that, jump back over to our main picture, and then edit and paste it in. Okay, let's bring it across. Now this time you can see it's, well, it's very short indeed. In fact, it's only just over half the height. But that really doesn't matter. That's okay, because we can go back to Edit, Transform, Free Transform, stretch that up like that. And maybe we'll make it a little bit wider as well. Let's add a bit more width in like that. That looks pretty good. We'll click the tick. Now don't worry about stretching it that far, because Elements will resample it when you click the tick, and you'll still get a very, very good edge. Now once again we've got to change that blend mode, so we'll change it to multiply, and now I can see I've pushed it just a little too far, so I'll just get the move tool and just bring it back in like that. Okay, so this is looking good. We've got two sides done. Now you can, if you want to, go back and do it a third time. Well, why not? Let's go and do it. And I'm just looking, actually, I don't think we need to change anything, because I saw this edge here and I thought that actually looked pretty good. So let's just go in here and make a selection along there, like that. And we'll copy that, edit, and copy. And then we'll go back to our main picture, and we'll paste it on, edit, and paste. And we need to spin this one around a little bit, so we're going to jump straight into Free Transform, turn it around. I'm going to make this one of the sides. I think, yeah, let's put it up there like that. We'll stretch it up, and we'll stretch it out to try and then make the most of that effect. And it probably is going to end up about there somewhere. Click the tick and change the blend mode to multiply. Yeah, okay, that's looking pretty good. I like the way that kind of tapers in towards the top. Now I could go back and do a fourth side, but to save a bit of time, and there's no particular reason that you have to, you could just take one of these other sides and put it up on this top corner as well. So let's do that too. Let's get this side, which is the left hand side. We'll make a copy of that layer. Let's go up to Layer and choose Duplicate Layer and click OK. So now we have an identical copy to it. And then we'll go back to Edit, Transform, and Free Transform. Right, let's drag that out so we can see it, and then we'll rotate it around. Little tip for you here, as you're rotating it, if you hold the Shift key, you'll find it goes in nice even steps. So it's nice and easy to get it in a horizontal orientation like that. And we'll just stretch that out. And by stretching it, it does actually change the look of it a little bit as well. So it does kind of look like it's a new piece, a new selection. So around about there, I think that's pretty good. We'll click the tick. Okay, that's looking excellent. Okay, so there we are. We've now gone from our straight picture through to our kind of nice neat border, and then we've given it a kind of distressed painted border. And it's all done using photographs you've probably already got, and it really does enhance a picture.